everyone. Welcome. I'm on Instagram and there we go. I gotta move my phone. Hi everyone. All right. We are streaming on Instagram and Facebook Live this morning. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the New Code Show. I'm Karina Stewart and I am a soul wealth coach. And I'm super excited because today is one of my favorite topics. It is also one that honestly might scare you a little bit, which is how to take risks to transform your abundance into superabundance and overflowing abundance. You know, on this show, specifically, I'm speaking to those of you who are spiritually conscious entrepreneurs who are creating, great change in the world, and you have a really big vision. Hi, Carrie. You have a big vision to transform the world into one of that's thriving, and you do this in your transformational businesses. But there's some traits and ways of being that you want to show up as if you really want to create super abundance in your life. And I wanted to share with you my journey, how I came to be doing what I'm doing today, running a 7-figure coaching business, soul wealth coaching. It was over 13 years ago that I call it, I fell off the grid. I just fell off the grid. I lost my job. It was during one of the downturns in our economy 13 years ago. And it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. So if you're in a situation like that right now, then know that this is one of the best things that's probably ever going to happen for you. And, it was an opportunity at that time for me to take the road less traveled. And here's what happens when you do that. You will meet your soul on that road. You will meet your soul on that road, because when you are living in a safe, comfortable, cushioned life, whatever that is for you, it has been up until now, then abundance actually can't find you, because you're putting a lid on the amount of abundance that you can have. Not just abundance of wealth and money, that's part of it, but an abundance of love, an abundance of deep connections and relationships and experience. And so one of the things that you get to do as spiritually conscious entrepreneurs is not only follow the path of your soul, but to open up to taking risks. It was a risk when I left my job and decided I wasn't going to go back to my career, but actually step into my calling. And so, if you've been following me a while, then you've heard me say this before, but I'm going to share it if this is new for you, which is, are you allowing a plan B to continue to influence your business and the way that you show up on your soul's path? Because energy doesn't lie. And if that is with you and you are this confluence of plan A, which is the calling, the soul plan, and plan B, which is, well, I could always go get a job, or I could always fall back on this, then what you'll discover is your results will reflect that. Now, you may not be thinking that. You may be just pulling yourself out time and time again because of frustration, disappointment, anger, and going into breakdown around that. And that is causing these ebbs and flows around abundance. So one of the things about being a powerful CEO of a spiritually conscious business is to be risky and to take risks. That is the key. The key is taking those risks and being willing to actually stay the course of that decision making. And it's not just a one-time thing. It's a willingness to take risks over and over and over again. Every single time that I have taken a risk, there's been some growth of some kind. And that's abundance, right? No matter what, whether something didn't work out the way I thought it was going to go, or it did, and it went perfectly the way I thought it was going to go. The key thing is to take risks. So risk can look like following an intuition, right? You're taking a risk. I talk about something called the no proof, that you don't actually need proof. You don't need proof to follow your calling. All you need to know is have instinct and that you're following a calling. What will happen on that path is your soul meets you there. So your abundance lies with your soul, and meeting human to soul and merging into that abundance, into that infusion, where there actually is an activation of your heart. It is a golden heart activation. And there's spiritual science behind that, where where what happens is your heart alchemizes, right? The center of your heart alchemizes into gold, which becomes highly magnetized, highly attractive, and pulls into you abundance in all its forms. And so how do you get there, though, is continually surrendering to that road less traveled, taking the risk where others won't do it, but you do. You know, I remember when the year when I started being fully activated into my soul's wealth, I was being called to go everywhere. I was being called, you know, go see this person, this healer, go to this event, go to these locations, and I went. You know, at that time, I did sleep in a bed most of the time, but I was also living out of my car. I had a red Jeep back then, and that Jeep had like clothes and books and crystals and all sorts of stuff in it because I was being initiated by my soul, and I would go wherever my soul was telling me to go. Now, ultimately, right, because there are stages to awakening, that is the beginning doorway, that is being initiated. Then there's a maturity that drops in where you've learned those lessons and you've also discovered that following intuition, following instinct no longer becomes a risk, but just a way of being. And once it's become a way of being, then there's new risks to take. There's new risks to take. It could be about how you get visible and you show up as a coach, as a healer, as an entrepreneur, how you show up, right? And being willing to put out there your core offers to the world, to grow a business and to get really committed and serious about that. That is one of the ways in which, you know, risk will keep opening up for you. It could be about doing live events. It could be about creating greater investment in areas of your business. You know, there are all sorts of ways that risk will show up. But what I can guarantee to you, if you're not taking risks, then I bet your bank account isn't growing and you haven't seen those leaps, those quantum leaps inside your business. It will always require that playing safe doesn't get you into the vision that your soul is leading you towards. Okay, the soul is not about rationality either. Know that. It will seem totally illogical to your head, completely illogical. Your head will think, this is crazy, right? This is irresponsible. And yet, the soul is actually the most responsible path you can follow because it is the path that ultimately isn't about you, it is about service. So I teach something called Money is Service. And learning to embody this is about taking risks, being willing to be so connected to your heart and in service to others that you are willing to risk being different than everyone else that's out there creating a business from their head, from logic, and from what other people are doing, for example. And instead, being outside of the box, also like radically, I would say, radically taking a stand that as a spiritually conscious human being, your business gets to be spiritually conscious and you get to grow your abundance from that place. That is the power that you have as a spiritually conscious entrepreneur. Really powerful to take that stand. So, the story is when I left my job and I was being activated and driving in my red Jeep all over the place to get activated and receive downloads that were related to what I would build in my business. And all of that has come true now. After that stage, then I began to transform it into teaching and being willing to risk. Hi, everyone on Instagram. I see you guys. Belco Virtual and Carrie, I said hi to you. And then we have Demi Gotti 666. Hello. Okay. So once you are willing to, once you become initiated, now you get to turn around and teach others. Okay, that is being in service. See, the path of your soul as a spiritually conscious entrepreneur is not about you. It's not about you. It is actually about getting to the place where you are so surrendered and seeing that your life is not your own. And it actually never was. Now, to others on the outside, that may look extremely radical and irrational, and yet to you, it is the most sane choice that you could ever make. See, we are up to, in this community of spiritually conscious entrepreneurs, we are up to creating a new world. And in that new world, the value system is different. We come into integrity with our soul, where the human and the heart and the soul unify. It is a new trinity. In order to do that, it is what, is one of my favorite Bible passages, which is, I'm going to paraphrase it, which is essentially you need to lose your life in order to save it, right? Jesus said that, which means you must lose, it's like losing your mind and the false identity of the ego in order for you to then save your life. What that really means is giving up the selfish life in order to live a life of selfless service. Being a spiritually conscious entrepreneur is one of the most selfless things that you will do, because first of all, anyone who started a business, you all know, like, it takes courage. It's the road less traveled compared to a job and a salary and all of that, which can give a certain level of security. It's false security, because ultimately, a business is more secure because you can always create your income. But to give into, and I even think of it as, tithing into your business, right? There is a sacrifice there because you're willing to give your time, your money, your life into a higher calling, a higher purpose that is calling you forward. That, my friends, is how to take a risk with your life, because you don't know, you're going to jump off that cliff, right? With your business and with this vision, and you don't know where it's going to take you, because it's a path that no one else has tread, because it's yours. It's the one that is created by your soul, and the one that is meant for you to transform and open up to in a big, big way. So, all right, I know some of you just joined me, and I just want to reiterate that what I'm sharing here, this is the bottom line. In order to transform your business, your bank account, for your business, for your life, into super abundance, into overflowing abundance, this is going to be about where's the next risk that you get to take. You're on a ledge right now, and that's the edge of your beingness right now. And you're being called to be something more, to generate something more from your being. And it will always come from there first. So what is that for you? What is that beingness that you're being called to become, which feels risky, because if it doesn't feel uncomfortable or scary to you, then it's not it. You get to risk even more. That transformation between those two is a gap between where you're standing and where you want to go, and the bridge that you build between it is where your abundance will begin to flow at even higher levels inside your business. All right, you guys, I hope that supported you. Hope everyone has an amazing week, and leave your comments below. Let me know what resonated. Let me know what's firing you up this week, and let's have an incredible week together. All right, take care, you guys.